Sounds like an accident. Oh, yeah, he meant to send me a friend request. That's why. Oh, no, this game was absolutely a chore. 100% a chore. I guess that's the closest thing I have is West Ronfar. Yeah, we did the ferry. I need a fucking potato chip or something, dude. I'm fucking hungry. I didn't eat breakfast this morning, dude. Much better. I need a Snickers. Jaggedy, your Jack is not up, by the way. We already toured Ronfauer earlier, by the way. It could take you to 2 different places, Frenzy. It could take you to an island where you could fight that Uragnite, the one that gave you the chest piece that was basically for melee DPS white mages. Can't remember the name of it. And then you had the other one that was part of the storyline. It could take you to the other island with the storyline. You would also probably want to be a specific job if you were doing AV. Yeah, I don't remember the name of that chess piece. Somebody's gonna remember it. This character's on Asura. Carpenter Landing was a shitty zone with shitty everything. Yeah, don't get me wrong, nobody really let the white mages do melee DPS in actual content. But for soloing purposes, it was nice. It's for killing skeletons and shit. There were some white mages that would go out of their way to solo higher level skeletons or just to solo in general. White mages weren't killing... Listen, here's the thing. If you were a white mage in this game, you were not fucking killing anything if you didn't have a melee setup. With the 2 cudgels from Blackbeard and Silverhook. The chest piece from that Uragnite. Okay. So I'm surprised no one asked about this new challenge thing that keeps popping up on the screen. One thing they did to kind of bring the game into the modern era is they added what are called records of eminence. Now, there's a lot of different kinds of records of eminence, but at its basis, the records of eminence are tutorial style or repeatable style mini quests. For example, in the tutorial one, you know, you get a reward for the first time you talk to one of those NPCs, the records of eminence guides, and you have, you know, using a field manual, and you have all this stuff, stepping into ambuscade, unlocking different alter egos and stuff like this. And then it gets more into stuff. Achieve level 99, do certain quests, do skirmishes, you know. And actually, if you're someone who were to pick up the game today, you would really, one of the biggest recommendations to get to the gear I have currently is to use records of eminence. Records of eminence eventually get you to the point where you can get some not up-to-date gear, but at least gear that's tolerable to get into some of the earlier stuff, like ambuscades and whatnot. And on top of that, when you're leveling, you can also just set it to objectives that are repeatable, and you'll just get, like, bonus EXP and tabs and shit that you can use to then do other things with those, like buy skill-up books, or pick up gear as you level, or do other things like that. For example, combat region. Conflict West Ronfauer, kill 10 enemies in West Ronfauer that reward experience points, pretty much. So every time I kill 10 enemies, I'll get 500 experience points, 10 whatever it's called, 10 sparks, and 5 whatever the fuck that last thing is at the end. I don't know what it is. And then that just repeats over and over again. So if you're killing hundreds of enemies in a zone, set a record of eminence for a zone and get all the bonuses you get from doing that over and 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 over again. It's a godsend. And then, of course, you can set the more specific ones like killing the notorious monsters, which are not repeatable, but do give you a significant more number of sparks. And these are available for all the different zones, and there's other ones for fishing and crafting, content, you know, for doing things like ambuscade, or even just getting the item to do ambuscade and stuff like that. Records of eminence and the books that you can find, the manuals, the grounds tomes, and the survival guides and stuff. Not the survival guides, the other open world ones. Survival guides are the teleportation assistant ones. They're a little bit different. Those were a godsend. Like, I don't care how much of an elitist you were or how much of a vanilla 11 person you were. Those were things that were fucking great when they added them. They were amazing. By all means, they were good. They were a good addition to the game. I will stand by those things being a fucking godsend. We toured some of the COP areas as so far. We toured the Xylar areas, although we still have to do Kahzam, and we still have to do Rabo. So we toured as many areas as we could feasibly get done. I don't want to tour too much of this area right here. I don't feel like this is that exciting of an area to be touring. That being said, it is the one remaining outpost. There is actually some interesting things that were available in Gelsba Outpost. I remember, for example, the Dragoon quest, where you have to fight the dragon, ends in a small instance inside of the Gelsba Outpost. You have a bunch of, you have the Lantern Shield Notorious monster that hangs down below. There's a spear that's okay for the early levels. You have, of course, War Chief Vatgit was a very popular one. He was part of a story quest. A lot of people remember him as well. There's an Orc Machine Notorious monster that drops a sword, a low-level sword for paladins, I believe, up on the up on the higher tiers. Of course, BCNMs are another option. The BCNM 20 is a pretty popular one inside of here as well. It's also the same map used for Abjahalis, which was a PvP mode. So there's a handful of things that people will remember from this place and use from this place. That being said, it paled in comparison to some of the other areas and what they could offer. And yeah, see, sometimes you just can't fall off ledges, man. That's actually where, if you go through the cave to my right, that's like right here, that's how you can end up down where the Lantern Shield Notorious monsters are. The Panzer and the War Machine, yeah, those are the ones. You kill the War Machine and then the Panzer pops out. Mm-hmm. Was it a buckler? I feel like there was a sword somewhere here, too. Oh, and it's very peaceful, as you can hear. And then there's a cave deeper in. There's not really much more to tour for this place in particular, so let's go back. It's been going good so far, Alchemy. We even had people meet the content goal at the top once, and we ended up doing Dynamis Zarkabard for an hour. We spawned and killed the old school Dynamis Lord, which didn't take too long. Endgame in 11 was basically a bunch of different places where you just spam kill enemies and eventually make your way to a boss. Dynamis was the one most people remember. Oh, let's exclude H&M camping, because H&M camping was fucking stupid. You sit in one spot, wait for an enemy to spawn, hope you're the group that actually claims him to spawn him, and then hope he actually drops loot that's useful to you. It was good for living your life because it was basically you sitting there for at most 3 hours doing abso-fucking-lutely nothing. So that's how I got through high school and fucking everything else, was because I could just play other video games and do homework while waiting for these dumb motherfuckers to spawn. Yeah, I also haven't had a soda in like 2 weeks, which is probably helping. I also have stairs now, so I naturally get more exercise. It's like, yeah, think of it, there's like all H&M's like waiting for Ixion, pretty much. And people, well, you couldn't kill steal, you could claim it, and then you could pull aggro from them if they didn't have their settings done properly, and then you could drag it away from them. You couldn't kill steal. You couldn't just say, I'm taking the last hit. You couldn't do that. And if you did it right, you would just, there's a setting, I forget what it's called, but you could turn on a setting where people from outside your party can't heal you, so that can't even happen to you in the first place. Yeah. They weren't really farms, and they weren't really relaxing. Dynamis was literally kill enemies for 3 fucking hours while getting time extensions, just hoping gear dropped. Limbus was kill enemies within a short time limit, eventually working your way up to a boss at the end. And Harryar was you have 30 minutes to kill all the enemies in the room and the boss that spawned afterwards. Salvage was you had to kill enemies while working your way up to the top and re-unlocking gear and abilities and skills. What's another one? Sky was you had to go around killing mini bosses to kill then bigger bosses, then kill one ultimate boss. C was the exact same thing as Sky, but the conditions for spawning them all and the layout was very different, and the notorious monsters that were actually there were different. Garrison was just defend a fort against enemies while protecting NPCs, protecting the NPCs being the #1 way to do that, not actually trying to engage the enemies all that much. Task, by the way, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you for supporting the stream with that Twitch Prime sub. Get some sub hype in the chat, please and thank you. And of course, what else do we have? Eco Warrior, kill enemies until you get to the end, kill one enemy. Campaigns, help NPCs kill enemies. Besieged, defend a town by killing enemies. And the enemies, for the most part, were not very special. Some enemies, eventually, they started introducing had very unique properties, but it took a while before they really started doing it. What else is there? BCNMs, farm enemies to get Beastman seals, to hand them in for an item, to then go to a place and fight an enemy or enemies within a very short time limit with a very limited party or a level cap. I fucking hate Dynamis with everything in my being. It was the most boring and uninspirational piece of content I've ever done in a game. We've been touring. Touring Vana'diel is what we've been doing today. I don't have access to the new dynamis. New dynamis came out today. Of all the things for me to talk about hating, a new one just came out today. I don't have access to it on this character, though. It's called Dynamis Divergence, which is basically the enemies are level 139. You need to beat Dynamis Tavnasia and then trade in like a 100 bill for an hourglass, like a Lungo Nungo Jade Shell or a 100 bind bill. Yeah, they never actually, but no, Frenzy. One time I did, I think it was Odin in Einherjar, the original Odin, not Odin 2 or whatever the fuck. And I think it worked. Because the person didn't do the prey, but they survived, and they had full health, and it was beautiful. Thank you, Alchemy, for the 11-month resub. Can I get some sub hype in the chat, please and thank you. Artifact weapons? You mean relics? Relics and mythics and Empyreans and all the weapons of the same type are all super time consuming, yes. The relics you can solo. If you have the patience to just spam Dynamis and buy pieces, then you can do it, but... What's going on, Negator? How you doing? Alright, so, the next place we want to tour is... I'll go with the jungles. Except that we're going to take the airship there. I don't know what the new Dynamis drops. I just know the new Dynamis came out today. We already went to Sky. That's another piece of content I don't miss. I liked things like Salvage and Einherjar and Assault. Like things that have very tight time constraints so you could do multiple things per evening. As opposed to Dynamis where you sat there and fucking bored out of your mind for 3 hours. Just to get Beastman gloves! 6 pairs of Beastman gloves! Thank you for the silver tier resub, by the way, Epic. Can I get 21 months in a row sub hype for Epic Face? Thank you for supporting the stream. And of course, hey, how you doing? Well, C had a lot more useful drops than Sky, but C also had far worse drop rates than Sky. And by the way, fuck Salvage. Oh, do I not have an airship pass for Kazham? I might not have an airship pass for Kazham on this character. Oh, I never unlocked... I totally... So guys, I forgot you don't need the Kazham pass to get to that island anymore. This character doesn't have the Kazham airship pass. You know how you get to the area nowadays? You get there at Norg at like level 15. through Rhapsodies of Vana'diel. Rhapsodies of Vana'diel sends you to Norg at like between levels 15 and 20. I totally forgot this character couldn't take the Kazham airship. And no, I don't need to tell you. I've got the means. I just forgot I don't have an airship pass to Kazham. So you know how you get there? Go to the El Shimo lowlands, and I'm just gonna go to Norg. It's for the 15th anniversary, Chibi. We're just walking around and not actually doing anything. But yes, Rhapsodies of Vana'diel gets you your sub job without having to do the other sub job quest. It gets you up to 5 trust. It gets you bonus experience points, bonus capacity points. Lower cooldowns, I believe, on your 2-hour skills is one of them. Well, on your 1-hour skill. So, Kazham is where the airship would have taken us. This is the city of Kahzam. So this place, few things, very popular leveling area at level 25. It leads out to the Yatunga jungle where people will kill Mandragoras and goblins. And some people would go out of their way and kill Sahagins if there were too many parties in the other areas. But that was... yeah, it was generally like a last resort. There's also a few goblin camps way further out, but a lot of people got lost in the jungle, so they tried to avoid that. Because I'm used to share its auction house with Windurst, and now they're now all shared, so that's irrelevant. And there was the Ifret quest here, on top of a few other quests that were pretty important. I believe the Tonberry Hate quest also has some mentions here as well. But the most popular area is right outside these gates. That's right, Frenzy. You had to take it to a specific room, though. So, yeah. The Yatunga Jungle... by the way... there are a lot of maps in this game. None so well designed and put together as that. The only thing worse than that is an area in the Seekers of Adulin zones. And I think some of you may know it as the Yorkia Weld. If you think that's bad, we go to the Yorkia Weld. It's, You want to know the best thing about this map? I remember exactly how to get through it. You hug the left wall, you fall down this hole, turn around, run the other way. And by the way, I'm not talking about getting to Norg, I'm talking about getting to Yotor. This is the path most everyone took. They'd fall down to this thing. I'll get turned around in this cave, though. This also leads to a notorious monster. A notorious monster spawn that was very rare, like, so rare that people only speculated how it spawned for a long time. I can't remember the name. It was a Marlboro notorious monster, though. People eventually did figure it out, but for a long time, it was a complete mystery. How to spawn the Marlboro that can spawn once we get out of this little cave right here. And basically, this place is just a giant maze. A lot of times, it looks like it should make sense, and then it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, Cassie. So this place right here is where Capricious Cassie could spawn. Now, I don't remember... Oh, no, Rose Garden. Oh, look. Capricious Cassie is in a completely different place. Capricious Cassie is in, is in a different place. Rose Garden. Oh, Voluptuous Vilma. So how did you spawn Vilma again? I think you had to leave Rose Garden alive for like 8 hours. So this is a notorious monster that if you leave it alone, I think it eventually grows into Voluptuous Vilma. But it takes like 8 hours? You have to leave this notorious, and if anyone kills this notorious monster, it resets the whole process. And yes, the answer you're looking for is Voluptuous Vivian. What was the one in the Boyata tree? Which one was that? I don't remember. I don't remember. They were all very, No. There's a Marlboro one in the Boyata tree as well. There's a Goobo on the top floor, but just before Dragon's Eyrie is right by Fafnir. Let's see. Boyata tree. It was called... No, that was... So this isn't... So Voluptuous Vivian was Boyata tree. So what the fuck was this one? Oh, the Rose Garden is the rare spawn. Oh, okay. So the Rose Garden is actually the notorious monster, but that was the rare one. The Rose Garden spawns if the overgrown rose has not been disturbed for 10 hours. After 10 hours have passed, the overgrown rose has a chance to despawn and despawn for the next 30 minutes and morph into the Rose Garden. After 30 minutes have passed, if it has not done so already, the overgrown rose... Oh, no. Okay, so here... No. So here, I have the full conditions. Yeah. So after 30 minutes have passed, the overgrown rose will despawn and morph into the Rose Garden. If the Rose Garden is left up without being killed long enough, Voluptuous Vilma should spawn. However, it is unknown how long it is required. It is only said to take more than 4 hours. That's what I have on Rose Garden. So that enemy right there will eventually despawn and become another enemy. Basically. There you go. You wanted a tour and a history lesson. There's a big one. Voluptuous Vilma drops a rare EX ring called Vilma's Ring, which has 1 intelligence, 1 mind, 1 charisma, and converts 25 HP to MP. It's basically a slightly more advanced astral ring, and it's a level 40 ring. Now, Rose Garden can also drop Vilma's Ring, but at a lower rate. I don't think it says what the lower rate is. But yes, it says that the drop rate of Vilma's Ring from Rose Garden is 9.8%. Whereas Vilma's Ring, I believe, is 100% from Vilma herself. I have the map. You can buy all those maps nowadays, Frenzy. This zone right here should lead to Yotor Jungle, by the way. I mean, at that point, you gotta weigh your odds, man. Do you want to wait there for the morph? Or do you want to just take the chance that you take like a 10% drop rate on the Vilma's Ring? That's fine, Def. Alright, and then the Yotor jungles are very similar to the Otunga jungles. The Otunga jungles connect to the Sea Serpent... sorry, not the Sea Serpent Grotto. Yeah, no, the Sea Serpent Grotto. And the Norg. I believe I'm not mistaken on this one. Yeah. Because this is, yeah, the Sea Serpent Grotto and Norg. Sea Serpent Grotto was popular for one monster above the rest. Would anybody like to share a story about their Joy Toy? Joy Toy being the name of a sword, the Joyce, that dropped from a notorious monster deep, deep, deep inside of the Serpent Sea grotto. There were other notorious monsters in there too, none so infamous as the Joyce. Yavras are in Altayu, and they, if you look up, you should see them on occasion. And the Sea Serpent Grotto also leads you to the Norg, which is the pirate area where you can get the Leviathan quest. We'll head there in a little bit. The pirate area, you can get the Leviathan quest, all of the ninjutsu scroll quests, which, by the way, people would do, and then sell them, and then decide they need to level ninja, and regret their lives forever. The max level before any expansion was 50. Xylart raised it to 75. Basically, by the time it hit America, it was 75. It didn't take long, at the very least. Alright, by the way, let's get built. The cap went up to 99, I want to say, in 2009? Yavras are easy to find. Because 2010 was Seekers of Adulin. So I want to say it was 2009 for level 99. Yes, that's Bill. Say hi to Bill. Be nice to Bill. So from Yatunga Jungle and Yotor Jungle has a connection to two or three major areas. The Den of Rancor, which is where the strongest of the Tonberries reside, which also connects to the Cloister of Tides, which is where Leviathan lives. It connects to the dungeon Ifret's Cauldron, which connects to the Cloister of Flames, which is where Ifret resides. It also directly connects to the Temple of Uggalepih, which is the actual Tonberry home. Seekers came out in 2013. I thought it came out in 2000. Oh, no. I'm an idiot. Abyssy came out in 2010. The Abyssy that hit level 99 was 2010. I made the same mistake when we were talking about it in May. So where we're going right now is one of the entrances to said Ifrit's Cauldron. Now, Ifrit's Cauldron as a dungeon was known for a few things. One was the firewalls. Basically, there are firewalls that dip down every few minutes, and if you don't want to wait for them to dip down, you trade them ice clusters. I think it's ice clusters, not water clusters. And then they'll recede for a few seconds, and then you can pass over them. So I might just hit a firewall as soon as we get in here. And, you know, whatever. It happens. It happens. Meh. However, I'd say the more popular thing in Ifrit's Cauldron was Ash Dragon. So as one of the Xylart missions, you have to pass through Ifrit's Cauldron and make it to an area back in the Yatunga Jungle. To do that, you had to walk down a long, narrow hallway after traversing most of the cauldron. And in the middle of that path was the good old Ash Dragon, who was infamous for murdering people trying to pass through, specifically to do that quest. Pretty sure these wasps aggro, don't they? I guess not. Oh, they're such peaceful wasps. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Ash Dragon was an ass. So here's that firewall I was talking about here. So this flame spout, the only way to cause it to recede is to either wait or trade it in Ice Cluster, which we don't have. So in other words, we're not going to sit here and fucking wait for the thing to go down. I don't mind digs. I would personally just edit audio over that, but it's up to you, man. Yeah, but you're not coming out here, BB. Nord is 1 enough. LDM? Yeah, we went to LDM very briefly. I didn't want to explore LDM much because it's very annoying to traverse. But we're not touching the Skulls of Sin. People did stop doing that Skulls of Sin thing such a long time ago. Tedious as fuck to spawn those guys. And then to beat them all. Man, I hate to say it, but 1.0 Final Fantasy 14, much worse than this. Much worse. Yes, Bulba. So that's a quick look at Ifrit's Cauldron. It was more than broken. '11, you had to come up with a schedule for Final Fantasy 11, not just to know when you were going to be doing content, but when you could do things while doing that content. If there was ever an MMO where you could have sex while camping notorious monsters, it was this game. I'm doing Endgame, guys. Woo! Didn't matter. Sorry, guys, I was late for that window because I was busy getting laid. And it sounds like, oh, it's video games. No one was getting laid. Dude, a lot of people who played this game were fucking married. Alright? Let's be real about this. So many people I knew who played this game were fucking married. And not just that they were playing with their married counterpart. They were just married. So still not getting laid. Yeah, pretty much. Those are what we call sexy cues. For me, high school, the only time I really dated is when I wasn't playing. Every time I went on a 2-month break from this game, I had a girlfriend. Anytime I came back, that relationship may have dissolved within a month or so. I don't know, it was a fact, alright. It was just how my life went out back in high school when I played this game. It's just how it happened, man. I was doing homework and playing DDR. Married people were having a baby. I remember one time my friend Aramis hopped in, he's like, yo, having another kid. And I'm like, yeah? When'd you have time for that? I don't know when I don't see you on this game. He's like, listen, I gotta do something while I'm waiting on gather time, man. Like, yo, it's like we're trying to get into dynamis right now. You gotta be there an hour in advance. I gotta do something in that hour. What's going on, Kyoka? How you doing? So, the area that we're coming to now in the Yotor jungle is the Temple of Uggalepih. This is the home of the Tonberries, and depending on your commitment to the game and completing everything, this was either your worst nightmare or not that bad. And I put it somewhere between there because if you're somebody who went out of your way to do things like get the paintbrush for the quest, or if you were somebody who had some of the different shortcuts available to you, you had a much easier time in this place than most other people. The map is actually not that confusing, but there's a lot of places that it goes, hey, you need this item to get through. If you were dedicated to the game, you generally had all the items to get through this place super easy. But a lot of people also did not. You know, it was just a matter of who did what. By the way, hi Vivi. By the way, I don't actually need this invisible until this hallway. And even then, I don't really need it. Oh, no, you don't need it at all for this hallway. If you want to do this, what you have to do is you have to go up north and then cut back around. Oh, I have no idea if Hacho is here. I feel like I remember killing something in this area. So, some things that Temple of Uggalepih were popular for, other than being one of the major entrances to the Den of Rancor. The Carbuncle Myth's Notorious Monster was the first time I really interacted with the zone. Somewhere deep in a certain recess, there are interactables that constantly spawn and despawn in a few select rooms. And if you select it, and if you open the door, you collect it, you get what is called an offering. And with that offering, you could go to the top of one other section of the temple, and you could spawn a Tonberry that has a super powerful carbuncle. I don't know any other way to put it other than a super powerful carbuncle. And I remember being a level 20 summoner, coming to this place, sneaking invis past everything, brought re-raises with me, went to the spot that had the offerings, got the offering, and then found a group to carry me through the Notorious Monster spawn, and I got my Carbuncle Myths before ever unlocking any of my other avatars doing the level 20 avatar missions. Which is one of the ways you could unlock additional summons, was to actually fight them solo as a level 20 summoner with only Carbuncle. Rough times, let me tell you. Let me tell you. And then you had to pray to RNG that you just didn't get fucked by certain abilities, and you properly resisted elements, and you didn't have your casting into... It was a whole thing. It was a whole fucking thing. Alright. Carby Myths themselves are level 20. That's why, as a level 20, I didn't continue playing until after I got them. I was like, I will not play this job until I get my Carby Myths. Another item is the Thief's Knife. Used to be an incredibly rare item that you could get. They changed it to be a rare extreme item that you could get from spawning a Notorious Monster. Basically, instead of camping the Notorious Monster and praying for the drop, you just had to farm the nearby enemies to get an item to spawn the Thief's Knife NM, and then you would get a Thief's Knife, and thus the knife itself became... It went from being over 10 million gil, sometimes over 50 million depending on the server, to 40,000 gil. Yeah. Yeah, Rare EX. Call it Rare Extreme. It's Rare Exclusive. Dude, honestly, some rare exclusive items were fucking Rare Extreme, and you know it. No, Fenrir was max level. I mean, I guess technically you could do Fenrir at level 60. I remember some people refusing not to continue without doing it at level 60. Fenrir was... You probably didn't want to fuck with him at level 60, though. You really didn't want to fuck with Fenrir at level 60. You were not going to have a good time if you were going to Trinity Canal trying to fuck with Fenrir at level 60. So you have to kill that guy to open this door, which leads to this room. Notorious monster that can spawn in this room, the King Tonberry. There is also a doll that walks up and down the stairs usually. But King Tonberry, I don't know if I feel like I've killed him once or twice. Don't remember precisely. And then I believe it's up here, which you need a prelate key to get into. Yeah, so you need a prelate key to get into the area up there, which is where the Carbuncle Myth's Notorious Monster actually is. The next place we'll go, though, is the Den of Rancor, because this character happens to have a paintbrush. No problem, Sasquatch. Take care, man. Yeah, by the way, it was Tonberry Kink with a fucking Q instead of a G. That is indeed true. We just called him a king, though, because we're not assholes. This game is assholes, but we weren't. These things will aggro me. Huh. I got aggroed by these things. Guess not. Alright. It is a painting of a... Oh, wait, this is the wrong one. It's this one. My bad. Wrong one. The paintbrush begins to twitch. Keep waiting. Gotta wait at least 30 seconds. No problem, Snurdly. Thanks for coming by today. Keep waiting. Keep waiting. Keep waiting. Did I fuck this up somehow? I feel like I fucked this up. Somehow. Oh. How did I... Oh, I wasn't close enough, was I? Huh? Oh, maybe I'm too close? Normally what's supposed to happen is you interact with it and then you wait 30 seconds. Is the door already open? No. Okay. I'm not even trying to press enter. I literally pressed it and then I let go like that. There we go. Okay, I wasn't in the right position. That was the problem. Brush in hand, you stand up straight in front of the blank canvas and begin to concentrate. By focusing your thoughts onto the paintbrush of souls, a new painting begins to appear on the... There we go. I wasn't in the exact right position for the paintbrush. Because you're supposed to get another message. You're not supposed to just see that the paintbrush twitches. You're supposed to get the image of you. You don't actually fucking draw anything, but, you know. Now we wait. 30 seconds. I don't remember if there's another message. Or if I will just eventually... Oh, there we go. Oh, no, that was my sneak wearing off. Come on. Yeah, Shantoto's losing her fucking mind right now. And I think we're good. Okay. You just have to wait a minimum amount of time for the picture to actually show. There you go. So you got to count to 30 and then do it. And that's how you get into the Den of Rancor. Which is where we'll eventually will take us to Leviathan. Which is going to be our teleport point out of here. Hmm. The Den of Rancor, where the deadliest of Tonberries lie. And yes, that is actually the fucking map. I hate to admit it, but yes, that is actually the fucking map. So one of the more popular things for the Den of Rancor, and I actually forgot to mention something that was really popular back in Ifret's Cauldron, is the optical hat notorious monster. It's basically an edit you could spawn for a hat, and the hat was accurate. It increased your accuracy and range accuracy, so it was super popular. There's even a fucked up version of it called, I think, the Spelunker's hat. And basically, yeah, you had to, most people just got a bunch of like summoners or beastmasters together to kill that motherfucker, and it's not a big deal. The other thing that I mentioned for Ifrit's Cauldron was the Queen Bomb. I think it was a queen? The Bomb Queen? I don't even remember what the Bomb Queen gave. I think she gave like a plus, like a massive plus HP ring or something like that, or an earring. Oh wait, no, let's go that way. Well, the core is what you spawned her with. And yes, it was a throwable item. So that was another one. That was the popular one in Ifrit's Cauldron. You don't want an answer to that, Alchemy. The answer would be forever, because every month you'd have to re-achieve that. I'm looking for another hole to fall in. There's holes, some holes back the way I came. I gotta find a different hole. Oh, is that a hole? Hole! There's another floor down here. So that in the top left is a BCNM for a mission. In the top right leads back up. And then I think the rest down here doesn't really do shit else. There's a specific hole I think you have to fall into specifically to get to Leviathan. I just don't remember which one. No, there's just another patch every month. Yeah, there's a specific... I think you have to fall down one of the holes in the southwest portion of the map. Whereas I fell down a hole in the southeast portion of the map, which is the incorrect section. But it's basically, it's a water thing. Let me pull up the map for the Den of Rancor. Top right. I thought it was bottom left. There's, according to this, 7 maps? I'm sorry, what? 9 maps of this? Oh, because, never mind. They're not all, like, maps of this place, like, different maps. They're, like, some of them are, like, specialized maps. Like, hey, are you looking for this exact thing? I was about to be like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Yeah, Ambuscade resets every month, though. That's a fact. Drop D. So, Drop D looks like the one that you need. Yeah, Drop D. Drop D is actually not far from here. I actually walked right past Drop D. Like, literally walked past it. Like, said, no, not that way. And walked past it. Running in the trouble is a nice way to put it, just. Yeah, so basically, for Drop D to get to Leviathan, which there should be a home point outside of Leviathan's cloisters, so I figure it's my best way of getting out of here. You make this left, and then you hug the left wall. Well, you make left, and you make another left, and you walk straight, and it should be right there. Literally, it should be walk straight from here, and I should end up right outside Leviathan's hole. Oh, here comes the D drop. This is it. Yep, here you go. You always know from all the demonic puggles. And then yep, there it is. And that's the teleport for Leviathan. Now I never need to do that again. And so all 6 of the celestial avatars, well, there's more than 6. 6 of the celestial avatars, 6 of the 8, I should say, all have proto crystals. I don't have a tuning fork with me right now, nor do I think I have the fame to do the tuning forks. But basically, with the right quest, you can hold a tuning fork to the proto crystal, and it'll initiate a fight with them. How many different versions are there? The level 20 solo fight, the level 75 6-man fight, the level 75 18-man fight, and then the 5 difficulties of the level 99 fight. I think those are all the different fights you can attempt against the different summons. Against the original 6, at the very least. I think that, yeah, that sounds right to me. So with that, we'll go to Norg and quickly look at the Sea Serpent Grotto. But that wraps up this island. And there's at least one more place I can cover before wrapping up the stream. Elshimo Low. So remember when I said I had mentioned an area that you can get to now, like level 15 to 20 via Rhapsodies of Vana'diel? That would be the Norg. It's very convenient to have access to this at level 15 to 20, by the way. Very, very convenient. What's going on, Twisted? How you doing? Yeah, we covered almost all of vanilla areas. These are Xylard areas we're covering right now. We even briefly stepped into the Ultan Mavapolos earlier. So, in this area, so that tuning fork for Leviathan, by the way, this NPC right here, if you have the fame, would be the NPC. He might actually, nope. If they say, "Owsy, wowsy, don't make me talk, I heard all over." Yep, there you go. Hey, you're the famous adventurer, Mr. Happy. Yeah, so this is the one. I do have enough Norg. I thought I had enough Norg fame because I did the Samurai quest. I also thought that they reduced the fame for a lot of these things. Yeah, so basically there's 6 of these sets. It's basically a Tartaru and a taller person. Doesn't matter who, but a taller person every time. And then they'll give you the tuning fork, and then you could just literally go back and do this. I guess to show off the battlefield. It's the same, it's pretty much the same, but a different element for every single one of them. So like now, if I go to Elshimo... Oh, no, what the fuck? Elshimo Uplands, the Den of Rancor. I think it's home point 2? Yeah, home point 2. Oh, I remember that, Frenzy. Listen, it helped a lot, alright? It helped a lot. You had to do it before you were teleported via the tuning fork, though, if I remember correctly. Otherwise, it would wear... I think it would wear off as soon as you teleported. Not even... It didn't disappear when you entered, but I think it disappeared when you teleported. So you needed somebody in the area at the Proto Crystal giving you the Protect and the Shell. And then you had to go in immediately because it was going to wear off really fast. Yes, Kazham was Rise of Xylard. So like I said, there are a bunch of different versions of this fight. This is probably the most OG one that people remember. I think the 18-man version probably would have been better to explore. That being said, this will take no time at all. And this is the battle music for pretty much all of the celestial avatars. There's the celestial avatars and the terrestrial avatars. The celestial avatars are considered the, quote, sleeping gods, and each represent a different element. You have the 6 you should all know: Ifret, Shiva, Garuda, Ramu, Leviathan, and Titan, on top of Odin and Alexander, both being the celestial avatars of dark and light, respectively. You then have the terrestrial avatars, the 5 terrestrial avatars, which are the gods that were made by each of the 5 initial mother crystals. You have Bahamut, Carbuncle, Fenrir, Diabolos, and Phoenix. No problem, Flame. Glad you enjoyed it. Now, this long, narrow corridor right here may seem like a complete waste of time for the development of this arena, considering its relevance is limited at best. However, when you were doing the level 20 solo missions, and even when you're doing the higher level missions for kiting them back and forth, making use of this little space right here to abuse the fact that you could be in range of the target to issue a command without being... while the enemy would have to walk up and down these hallways right here to get to you was super beneficial. They're called Gulkas in this game, Twisted. Yes, Vilma was... we were actually talking about Vilma earlier. Yeah, and then they just sit for you at the crystal. No, I don't think Phoenix has ever gotten as... he plays a role in Rhapsodies of Vana'diel, but as an actual summon, no. And you could only use Carby, so even if you had unlocked some of the other ones, it didn't really matter all that much. Do Tidal Wave. Do it before I kill you. Do it before I... it's too late, you're dead. Sorry. Yeah, Kirby Poison Claw does damage over time. It can do it. And then he just says impressive. And then it ejects you and you can go back to the NPCs and select one of several rewards. One of the rewards can be getting them as a summon. One of them is like an exclusive item for their name, which all those items fucking sucked, so nobody ever fucking used them. One of them is like 10,000 gil. And I think there's a couple of other options there as well. Oh, or the item for the Fenrir fight. That's the one. Yeah, there was also an item you could select that just gave you the item for the Fenrir fight. So as you can see, it doesn't even drop me back right where I was, so I'm just going to use the warp ring and go back. Pizza Omega. Sorry, I'm really fucking hungry. That's why I gotta go eat soon. You know what was a pretty decent item? I think it was the Shiva sword from the 18-man carbuncle. Was it the Shiva sword? I think it was the Shiva sword from the 18-man carbuncle. Good fucking luck actually being the one to get the Shiva sword because the drop rates on that stupid fight were awful. And getting people who were qualified enough to do that fight for its shitty rewards were awful. So, good luck. Back to the Elshima Lowlands, back to the Norg, and we are good. Then it wasn't Shiva's claws. Shautel, that's the one. Yeah, Shiva's Shautel. That's the item, Vivi. That sword was pretty decent, if I recall. It's been getting... There's been a lot of DDoS issues the last week or so, Josplex. So now that you've beaten it, you talk to this dude, you get a weird cutscene. And then he completely forgets he ever spoke to you. There we go. Yeah, in +4 accuracy +8. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good red mage sword. And it had a pretty high base attack and decent delay, if I remember correctly. What do I desire? What do I seek? So you can get Leviathan's Rod. You can get a water belt, a water ring, the Eye of Nept, or Gil. The Eye of Nept is the item you need for the Fenrir item. Yeah, we weren't talking about Shiva's Claws, though. That doll has a whole heap and hell of a lot of story behind it. You could talk about that doll for days. No, the claws were a high-level item. Very high-level item. What were we talking about? Yeah, you just have a 24-hour lockout, Alchemy. You have to wait 24 hours between doing the fights. Boom Chicken! You cannot obtain it until... I have to come back and do that again later. Thank you for supporting the stream for the 21st month in a row. Now I have a free inventory slot. Get some sub hype in the chat for Boom Chicken, and of course, hey. There's also a very familiar NPC in here. One that half is a reference to his original self in the other games. The other half is something totally different. We'll explain that when we actually go visit him. The Oaken... Oh, by the way, that NPC, Samurai Quest. Yep, that's right. It is Gilgamesh. He is the ruler of this pirate area. So the thing about Gilgamesh, for the most part, he's nothing like any of his other incarnations. However, they included him very heavily in the Abyssi storyline, which is very similar to a version of the Void in this game. It's as close of a reference as you actually get to any other aspect of his character. No. Well, the Ninja Quest is here. No, the Ninja Quest is in Bastok. Oh, no, actually, I think it's here, but you go talk to the NPCs in Bastok a lot. It's one of the two. It either starts in Bastok and you come to Norg a lot, or it starts in Norg and you go back to Bastok a lot. It's one of the two. But I know that the Bastok, the starts in Norg and you go back to Bastok. There you go. I knew it was one of the two. You end up in Bastok a lot for the Ninja Quest. Alright, and then I can get through this side. Just a short tour of this one. Asura, which is the server to be on if you actually plan to play this game. Yeah, around 1673. There are probably going to be a few more people logged in over the next few days because it's going to have it's the free logins for people who already had previous accounts. And this is the Sea Serpent Grotto. I'm not going to make my way all the way to the Joy Toy area because I'm not prepared to make my way all the way to the Joy Toy area. But it's pretty similar in aesthetic to the Den of Rancor. There's a little bit more, I guess, structure, and it's not as menacing of an atmosphere. But, I mean, it is. This is a tour. I will say that the entrance to the Sea Serpent Grotto is interesting, over in the Yatunga jungle. It's behind a waterfall. And getting there can be sometimes confusing, depending on your experience with the area. I remember it for the most part. It's also hidden behind the most bullshit fake wall I've ever seen in my life. More water, more Sahagins. Well, not even more Sahagins, because the Sahagins are in... This is their area. The Sahagins don't really reside in the Den of Rancor. Sahagins, Sahagins, leeches, Sahagins. That's it. It looks good until you try zooming in on textures and you realize nothing is textured. It's just kind of like a flat overlay over, I guess, a solid object. Luckily, I play it at this distance, so it's fine. And then it takes you all the way back into Yatunga Jungle, which is the full circle. I'm at the bottom left-hand side of the map, behind a waterfall. And I have Bill, so let's get the fuck out of here. See? Behind a waterfall. No, Altepa was going to be the last place we visit, but it's already 4 o'clock. I've been streaming for 9 hours at this point. If we had hit a second goal, maybe I would have stretched it, but if we didn't. And that would have been used for Limbus, most likely. And then from this point, you got to make your way back. It's actually not that hard to make it from Norg back. I think it's a little more confusing to get from Kazham to Norg than it is to get from Norg to Kazham, in my opinion at least. The path back is a lot more straightforward than the path there. You always just got to take a quick look. I think you can actually hover along the left side and go that way. I remember always going this way. And then I always wondered with myself, why am I going this way? Because I don't think it's any way faster. Where you eventually want to end up is you want to end up right there, and then you fall, and you just go through there. You can also end up here and go up through there. There's a few different ways. Luckily, while this zone is not very well put together in terms of the map design, at least once you've done it a couple of times, I also can't see the fucking, like, arrow on the map for shit. I kind of just have to know where I am. Nine hours of just running around. Well, an hour of that was dynamis Zarkabard. Hey, listen, people cheered for dynamis Zarkabard. They cheered, they voted for it, and that was the one we ended up with. No matter what, it had to be on my other character. Aloha, you look so cute. Did you know that? Dude, you prayed for that because you didn't want to fucking warp back. Yeah, so if I recall, to get back to Kahzam, it's through here. And then this will lead to a drop-down point, and then the drop-down point and run north, and you should be back home. Trying to make sure I have my exact memories of the ways you can go. Like I said, I think if you just hug the left wall, you can kind of do the same thing. But this was the way I always took to get back from Norg to Kahzam. And it felt like, in terms of what the minimap is showing you to do, it was the most straightforward thing. Yeah, because then you fall down the hole here, and then you just run directly north. And you should be fine. And you're back in Kahzam. Not like it matters. I can teleport anywhere and everywhere, and it doesn't fucking matter, but still. All the same. Showing the path, that's part of the tour, right? And the confusingness of this fucking map. And there you go, back to Kahzam. Dude, I love the mount music. The mount music's one of the best things in this game. Bill is the highlight of my day. Bill is the best part of my life. Best part of my life. Back in the summer of '69. I mean, they designed it from scratch. They made it the way they made it. Oh, man. Ugh. 9 hours of this shit, man. Oh, man. I did pretty alright, though. Got to see quite a few things. Now I gotta upload. Holy shit, why do I have 80 notifications on Twitter? What the fuck? Oh, God. What is this?
Salads. A salad's a salad.
Oh, Wolf, I just checked that right now. Let's see here. Well, you can't just try the game with the free time they're giving you. You are going to have to purchase the game, and that'll come with a free trial period anyway. I would listen, here's the thing. If you're going to play Final Fantasy XI in this day and age, there's one thing you need to know. You cannot play this game without Googling fucking everything. And I know there's going to be somewhere saying, no, you can figure it out by reading some... No. Fucking Google everything. Anyone who says you don't need to do that had someone tell them in the game themselves. No. You fucking Google everything. And I don't mean just a few things. You literally have a tab open on the side, and anything you need to search, you fucking tab out and you check. Also, play it on windowed mode. Don't play it on full screen. Otherwise, this works a lot worse. There is no option for you but to literally look up everything. Where's my story quest? Where is the question mark on the ground? What are artifact quests? Where are artifact quests? Solo testimonials. Where do I unlock trust NPCs? Where are the different trust NPCs? Everything. Everything. You do not get to experience this game organically. You know what experiencing this game organically is? Googling everything. That's what an organic experience feels like. Don't play full screen. Also, I would advise this. I would also advise you immediately go into your global settings and turn off auto disconnect. Windowed mode, turn off auto disconnect. Especially if you're patching the game for the first time. I auto disconnected during my first time patching this game. So I don't think you can disconnect during a patch anymore, but do this all the same. Turn off auto disconnect. Don't use Alakazam or Killing Ifrit. That shit's outdated as fuck. Use the BG Wiki, use FFXI, use something like that. Just don't fucking bother with Alakazam or Killing Ifrit. Trust me. Trust me on this one. What do you want, Aloha? Alright. On that note. No. Nobody uses the official site. Get out of here. I'm good. Somebody wanted me to upload all this to YouTube. That's going to take a while. Probably has to be broken up and done separately. Give me 1 minute, ladies and gentlemen. So tomorrow is either going to be back to the normal schedule or we're going to continue the tour. I think we're probably going to continue the tour because we didn't get through... I actually thought we were going to get through more than what we got through today. I really wanted to get through Altayu and the deserts, which we didn't get to today. It's because we took an extra hour for Zarkabard. I probably didn't account for that very well. And we'll continue. We'll leave the bit goal where it's at. As for other things we want to tour tomorrow... we have the Ottergon areas, which is a pretty big one. So we might just be able to get through that. I don't think we could shoot for much more than Ottergon tomorrow after the other stuff that's going to be happening. But we'll see where that turns out. At the very least, that's what I'm considering for the time being. Yeah, I'll tell you tomorrow as well. Yeah, Altayu would be a big one. That we would definitely see a UFO tomorrow. The Clopedius will get you through most of the early game stuff, at least. The BG Wiki will be the most updated one, most likely. In my experience. And there's always more memes to come with it. Somebody said they wanted to carry me through some of the more recent Endgame content. If you're still here, listen, I'm down for it. Like, throw me a link show invite or something. But I can't make promises of any long-term commitments to this game. So... I will not make that commitment, nor will I even feign making that commitment. I remember it was like Fiji's Live or something like that who made the offer. I'd have to go back and check. I said yeah, but I didn't hear anything back from the guy, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see him in chat anymore. Alright, well, it's whatever. Let me find someone to hold. I want to try this fucking raid feature is what I want to do. Fucking raid feature. Oh, look, Mary's playing 11 today for the 15th anniversary as well. Maybe you guys can go continue on. Oh, and he's leveling. He's doing something a bit... Oh, he's got a different mount for that, too. All right, let me see if this fucking raid feature is going to work. Hey, it joins. Now, how do I initiate the raid? So, guys, apparently you can... Oh, it's going to initiate automatically after that time. Edelweiss. Thank you for the 11 months in a row, by the way. Yeah, I'm just going to try out... I don't know how this raid feature works. I think it'll automatically send you to their channel. So, Mary's playing Final Fantasy 11 right now. So, for those of you who really don't want to stop the nostalgia train, he's running through Gustaberg right now on a Hippogriff mount. And he's going to be leveling Dancer. Thank you, Edelweiss, for the 11th month in a row. Get some sub-hype in the chat. Please and thank you. Thank you for supporting the stream, and of course, So yeah, if you want to continue the nostalgia train, I'll send you to somebody else who will continue the nostalgia train. And he plays it a bit more frequently than I do. So if you follow him, you may see him play it occasionally more than me. I'd say that's he's a good follow, and he also plays Final Fantasy 14 and other games as well. So hit that, join that raid, or just I'm gonna host them anyway, or at least I'm gonna hope. And I will see all you fine ladies and gentlemen tomorrow. Thank you, and until then, take care. That's weird. I also can't host with the raid feature. There we go. Bye-bye. Oh, no, it auto-hosts too. Cool. I like it.